Yep. Good evening, everyone. So last session we discussed about few important hooks, how to handle them. I hope you tried them. Huh? We learned use effect. We learned use state. We learned use context. Yesterday we learned about use reducer. Reducer. Use reducer. Huh? So these are all the basic hooks provided actually. Now some more hooks are there, but they are not used for every situation depending on requirement. As I told you that I will upload one document related to that. You can go through. But what happened is just a few days back. So one beta version is released in React. So some more changes happened in these hooks. So that means this will happen regularly because while learning itself, you have to deal with some latest new things also. Few days back only, one beta version is released for hooks. So hooks are now little bit changing. Their features, functions are little bit changing now. Now what I will do is, I will prepare this doc because the document we already have is related to old concept. Now very recent changes I need to update into that. I will once update, I will add those new changes happened into hooks and I will upload into class. You can go through them. Okay. So because as I told you, once you know these hooks, other hooks you can explore by yourself. You can learn, you can handle them by yourself. But if I give examples, that will be easy for you. You can try them. Okay, I will do that. But some changes are happening. So those changes we will update because which version we use now. So this is React.js and currently 18.2 version is there. So 18.2 version is there. Now in our project, this is our React project. This is the recent project we created. And in this project, it is package JSON. You see here the React library, React DOM library, we are using 18.2 only, same. That means the major release is same. But actually, the hooks concept, where is it? I will say hooks here. So yeah, these hooks concept, this is actually here some changes are happening now in the hook reference. Yeah, add this one. So some changes are happening in these hooks, actually hooks at a glance. You have a new documentation now. That means these hooks are going to change. This is hooks page. One beta release is available now. Is all we discussed. Where is the beta release versions? Hooks API reference. Yeah, you can see actually these are the hooks already we discussed. But now these additional hooks, some changes are made here. Let me scroll down, use effects. Yeah, this is the new documentation now for hooks. Actually, this is beta version. Beta version means they are making changes in the hook. Currently, some examples are present, and this is the beta release actually. This is the beta release. And in this, it is a beta. I hope you know the versions history. Do you have any idea how versions are released? What is beta means? No. Generally, when software versions are released, because now it is in beta, that means we are expecting these new changes in React. That means even you learn now few hooks, those are going to change in coming 1-2 months. They are going to change. So you need to know the new concept. Actually, I will show you some beta release here. Versions history. Generally, when versions are released, actually, this is the version history. Actually, this is how the versions are released. So whenever a software is released, they release the versions in this way: pre-alpha, alpha, and beta. After beta, RC, RTM, and GA. So this is the version sequence, actually, release sequence. Now React is in beta currently, means after 18, they are now in the beta. Beta means after beta, RC will come. After RC, RTM. After RTM, GA. Once it is GA, that means it is ready to use. So in the beta, they highly recommend that now try the new hooks concept, because they are going to change these hooks little bit, their functionality, their features. But remember, when you go to RC, RTM, some more changes may happen. So sometimes in softwares, it will take years of time. But in React case, it will be just in a matter of weeks of time. That means in a matter of 2-3 weeks, you will get the GA available. That means a new version available. But that means mostly in a 1 month of time, you may get a new version of React. So, and so many changes may happen in that. Already we discussed this in the beginning, that pace of development is very fast in React. You need to update so many changes. So in the beta, this is actually beta. This is the beta of React. Currently, it is the beta. And they highly recommend our developers to follow this beta now. Why? Because that means they are going to change so a lot of their old hooks and their functionality with some new features. Then you may not able to use the hooks in a similar syntactical format and features in the next version. So you need to wait for that. So what I will do is I will upload 2 documents to you. One document old version related, another document is the coming new version related. What changes they are expecting, those we will discuss, right? After that, you can try those examples and exercises according to the task, according to the samples I post into the document. Okay, you can try them. So generally, those documentation I will upload. You can go through them. You can try those hooks and you can handle them. So what is the purpose of hook is nothing but the purpose of hook is to handle some predefined functionality and manage. You learned a lot of hooks and I given some basic hooks yesterday, context and reducer. What is difference between context and reducer memory? Both are related to memory only. What is difference? What is difference between these two memories? Context uses the memory of a component which is accessible to the other components that run within the context of parent. What is reducer? Reducer's concept is nothing but it is going to allocate the memory at application level. At application level so that any component can access the memory and use. That means any application can use. That means yesterday we created reducer. Actually, what happens is when you create this reducer, yesterday we designed everything here in one file. But in real time projects, what we do, we create reducer in a separate file. We import reducer and we use the reducer in any component where we want. So that makes it reusable. That makes it reusable. That means this reducer function, generally what we do, we configure in a separate file and we can import in any component and use. That means how it becomes application level. It becomes application level when you configure it in a separate file and you import and use anywhere. That means in which component you want reducer, in that component you can use reducer, right? You can define in a file, you can import and you can use. That is how actually you need to practice. Later in Redux, I will show you how we can create separate files also. We will see that. So in this case, reusability across components, data can be accessed. Actually, many people, to test this Redux data, generally you see there is a browser. I will start this. What you can do is, if you are using Chrome like browser, Chrome, in Chrome and other browsers, you can download a plugin. As a developer, you can try this. You can download a plugin called Redux Development Tools. Redux Development Tools. And there is React Stores Development Tools extension. These are downloaded by developers actually. What is the purpose is nothing but while developing an application, they can monitor whether the values are correctly stored in the state. What values are stored in the state. So that complete information it will keep here. That means which action type you are using, on that action, what is the state it is having, how the state value is changing, what is the previous value, what is the current value. All this is necessary for React developers. Generally, while working with Redux, while working with React stores, they download these kind of extensions. So if you can download these type of extensions, then it becomes easy. I will show you one simple point actually. But that Redux extension will work only once you install Redux and you start using Redux. That I will tell you in a separate concept, right? Okay, so it is compiled successfully. Let's, yeah. Now I will copy this URL and let's open this in the Chrome. Allow JavaScript. Yeah, I am running this here now. And now you can go to extensions. In the extensions, you have React extensions. These extensions, React extensions, how you can get them is you can go to Chrome settings. In Chrome settings, Chrome apps you can go. These are Chrome apps. In the Chrome apps, you can go to web store. There is a web store. You can go to that web store. In the web store, now here you can search for React. So we have React, one is store. You can see React store. There is a React store plugin available. This is React store development tools. So generally this is used. This is React store development. There is a separate option called Redux. We have Redux also. React Redux. React Redux extensions also will be there. So this is you can see this is some extension React time. So there are React Redux extensions also available. You can search those. You select these extensions. Now you add these extensions to your Chrome. That means you are adding this extension to the Chrome. Because mostly this is add extension. Mostly these are required for developers while working with external states actually. When you are dealing with external states, working with external states, those details are not shown in your browser. For example, I showed you cookie, where you can see cookie value, whether cookie created or not, and which name cookie created, what is the value of cookie, where you can see in browser directly in application. But anywhere can you see where is state value stored? You can't. So where state values are stored, where what actions are being handled, these you can't. In real world development process, you need them. You can add such plugins. So when you add those plugins, so what happens is, so whenever you are using the React applications, you can turn on those extensions. These extensions, remember, in order to use these extensions, that must be enabled first. That means that must be working in your project. That means your project must be using Redux, must be using store, then you can explore and you can handle them. Generally, what happens now when I say inspect, you can see this is React time. So I will inspect here. When you are inspecting, what is it here? You can change this to normal screen. Yeah. Here in the extension, you see there is a React time and stores inspector. These are the plugins we have installed. Now you can select them. You can choose here React time. It will display that React time here. So, and this React time, so have to show you all the details. Like another option is what? React store inspector. This is the store inspector. And you can see it says, so there is no stores found in your React application. Stores means we haven't created anything. Later, I will show you in Redux. These tools you keep in your browser. Later, when we use Redux and all, you can check them. I will show you the flow, how it works. That means how actions are triggered, what action is triggered, what values are stored, all these things. Now, currently it cannot show this because we are not using any external store. Currently, what we are using use reducer. Use reducer internally as a part of React application it handles. So you don't need these type of stores as of now, but you keep it ready so that in the next concept, I will show how to handle them, right? You install this plugin. One plugin is enough actually. You install a plugin called React Redux Dev Tools. You install this plugin Redux Dev Tools that will help you in understanding and working with Redux. Okay. So we will discuss about Redux and React Native like concept separately. Now, these are the basic hooks you learned. Some more additional hooks, what you learned: use cookies, use params. You have learned about this. And one more regularly used is we have use callback. We have use callback. So that is another one which is regularly used. Use callback is a hook. Use reference is a hook. We have hooks like use location, and you have like use history. So use navigate. So navigate. All these are the hooks available. These are all the various hooks available. So many hooks are there. As I already told you, some hooks are not in use, some are used, right? Now, the point is how to create our own hooks like this, how we can manage our own hooks. We generally call this concept as what? Custom hooks. Custom hooks. Let's see that. What is the basic concept behind this and how we can handle custom hooks? Actually, these examples I will upload. Different examples I will upload in a document. You check them. Several more hooks are there. I will upload all that. You check them by yourself. If you have any doubt, let me know so that I can explain in class after you verified and after you practiced them. Okay. Now, what is custom hook is nothing but you can create your own hook. You can create your own hook to handle specific operations. To handle specific operation, you can create your own hook. So how to create our own hook, how to handle these own hooks? Nothing complicated. It is same like how you created your own components. Similarly, you can create your own hooks. That means you can create a custom hook and you can handle your custom hooks. They are similar to how you create your custom components. That is, but some rules you have to know. What are the rules here is, so every hook is a function. Every hook is a function that returns a value. Every hook is a function that returns a value. It is compulsory that the hooks that you create, they must return a value. Every hook must return a value. That's important. Next point is hooks cannot be used in a function or any code block. Actually, you cannot use in a function or in any iterations. You cannot use in any iterations. Hooks cannot be used in any function or iterations. That means in order to deal with the hooks, you need to configure them at higher level. That means hooks are used at a higher level. That means you cannot use the hooks in any iteration. You are writing a for or each like iterations. In those iterations, you cannot configure the hooks. So these all rules you need to remember, and you need to create a custom hook. You can create a custom hook. For example, let's see one simple one. Suppose cookies, all these hooks are already available. So many hooks are already available. You may be thinking how they are created, means how they create this hook. So how they create the hook, how they handle this hook, what are the concepts behind this. Actually, if you can see any hook definition, you will understand. That means we can go to the definition of a hook so that we can understand how it is designed. Then you can create your own hook. Roughly, I will show you. Suppose we have a hook called use state. Let's put a hook here, import. So we have use state. Use state is a hook. We want to know how this hook is created. Just simple concept here. I will use a constant. So user set user is equal to use state. Now, if you want to know how this is created, you go to the definition of that hook. This is actually a function. Hook is technically a function. We have a function, and important is this function. Actually here, I told you that you have to learn TypeScript to create your own like this, because the library is designed by using TypeScript. If you know TypeScript, then you can design those all things. But just one point I will tell you. See here, this is a function, and this function is returning. It is of type something. This is the type, and it is defining some return values. Actually, these angle brackets, we call them as generics. I will explain in TypeScript what are those generics. So observe carefully. There is another hook here. We learned yesterday. This is use reducer. And you can see use reducer is also a function. And what this function is having some parameters. And this function is configuring some definition. So you have all these here configured with certain functionality. Now, how to create our own hook and how to use our own hook here. So simple. What you have to do is, suppose you want to create a hook, then let's say I will create a separate folder. I will create a separate folder in SRC hooks. That's how generally your projects will do. Means in many React projects, you will see that there will be a separate hooks folder. You may be wondering like why there is a separate folder for hooks, because they are all custom hooks. That means for a project, for various requirements, what they do, they create their own hooks, and you can import them and use them wherever you need. And these hooks related information, you will not get anywhere from any location in your projects. Means in Google, you search for them. In React website, you search for them. You will not get any help about that. So because they are custom created, we will create one. Okay. So here we will create a new one, a new file. So I will create a new file by the name. I will give the name as suppose change case dot hook dot js. That is one hook I created. What is the nature of this hook is, it should able to change the capitalization of any text and return. That means we need a hook which will take a string and it will return the capitalization and it will display. Actually, you have two uppercase. It is a string function of JavaScript. Two uppercase returns what? It returns the letters in uppercase. Two lowercase will return lowercase. But I want a sentence case. Sentence case means in the sentence, first letter must be caps. But there is no function for that. There is no function for that. Then you can create, and that is regularly required. In that case, what you can do, you can create a hook for that. You can create a hook for that, and you can inject, and you can use. The process I will show you later. With TypeScript, you can create such hooks in a perfect way. Why? Because all library is built with TypeScript only. I will show you that. Initially, how to create a hook? We need to define here export. What is that function? The function is a use change case. That is the hook. This is actually a function, just a function, but as per the tradition, what we do, we give the name as use change case. Now what it can do is, it can take a parameter string str. Now what it should do is, it should able to return this string in a sentence case. That means first letter must be caps, all other must be in lowercase. Then how? Logic. We have to manually write, like where I will give first character. How to collect the first character? To collect the first character, what we have to do? Str dot, we have to use char at. Char at is what? 0. It will return the first character. We have to read all the characters after first. Then we will use here rest character. Rest characters is what? Str dot, we will use substring. There is a substring function. We will read from which position? 1. That means 1 to end. First character separate, rest character separate. Now we need to define a word. That means we have a sentence. And what is the sentence? Sentence is nothing but first character must be converted to uppercase plus rest characters must be converted to lowercase. That is how we combine. Now after that, it should return the sentence. It should return the sentence. That is what a hook have to do actually. It's a simple, same like function, general function. That means this hook is going to change the capitalization of your string. Now how to use this in our location? Anywhere you want to use it. If anywhere I want to use it, so what we have to do? First we have to import. What to import? Use change case. That is from React hooks. Use change case is a hook. We are changing that. We are using it. Now what we are doing here is we are defining some title. That means we are adding some title here. Suppose I will define constant. Constant I configured. Suppose, remember, depending on how you handle. Suppose I defined, suppose message. So constant message is equal to, we will put some message. That means we will access that and use it here. Suppose what we are doing, we are accessing the hook. What is it? Use change case. Into the change case, you can see you can pass a string now. We can pass a string into the change case. That means what it is doing. So we will pass like this. So welcome. So welcome like this. Welcome to suppose React. So React, something like this random capitalization I given. Now what we need to do is, that means into the use case, we are passing this and we are displaying somewhere here. I kept a heading and here we want to display what? Message. We want to display the message. That means it is going to display in title case. That means first word will be caps. First word will be a caps. So that is a simple option for creating a hook. There is nothing special. It is a function. Every hook is a function. Generally, what you will do in real world projects, you will see so many hooks like this. You will see so many hooks like this that you will never find on Google about them. Why? Because these are all custom made. According to their frequent requirements, they use that. See the case I entered like this. I entered that like this. Now what this use change case have done, it converted that and returned it. Right? So that is what just we are using. We are accessing and using. So it depends on how you design. Sometimes they are having like parameters. Sometimes they are parameterless. Sometimes depending on they accept array, they sometimes are destructing type like object destructions. You depending on, so parameterless also. For example, see here, I'm adding another here as some captcha dot this is not there. Where is it in hooks? Yeah. Suppose in hooks, I'm adding a captcha dot hook dot js. I'm using a captcha hook. That means it is nothing but we have export function. This is use captcha. That is a function use captcha. It should return a random captcha number. Just like captcha, it should return a random captcha number. It should return a random captcha number so that I can use in every login screen, in every register form. Then what you do? So you simply define like this, where a is equal to math dot random will generate a random number. This random number is multiplied with 10 because random number usually starts with 0.7. Then we will want a positive number. We will multiply by 10. Similarly, I am defining here. So other options like where others, like A, like B, like C, like D, and like E and F like this. All are random numbers. I return a code. This code will combine all these random numbers by using math.round. Math.round A. Similarly, math.round B. So we have math.round C. That means it is a random number D and E and F. This is a random number. Then what we do is return the code. Return the code. That means now what we want to do here is I want to use the captcha here. I want to generate a captcha. For example, here I'm giving a data list temporarily, a data term. I said so your ID and data definition, we have a text box, input type is text. After that, data definition, so verify code. I said data term, we have verify code, and data definition here, we will display the captcha. That means we are configuring constant. What it is, captcha. It uses what? Use captcha. We have to import use captcha. And no parameters. Just we have to access that captcha and put that here. That means we are accessing that captcha and displaying here. And this captcha generates a random number. It generates a random number. Now, whenever page is loaded, every time a new number will come. Whenever a page is loaded, a new number will come. You can put a button, refresh on that button, again load that. This is basically done with all hooks. Now we need this everywhere. In another project also you can use this because this is just a library you built. That is all basically custom hooks concept is. They can be parameterized, they can be parameterless, you can define anyway. So this is one simple concept actually. So I defined like capture dot hook dot js. Just I am using this rough code, copy that. These are all general things you will come across. Another one is change case, change case dot hook dot js. Actually, the real hooks you saw are all designed in TypeScript general. They are not in JavaScript. And they have different behaviors also because they use generic concept behind that. I will show you them. So this is example, and you can implement anywhere you want. That means in any location you want to use, then you can implement them and configure and use them. This is how we can define. That's how we can handle that, right? This is how we can use. Now, can you tell me how to create a hook? So can a hook can take multiple parameters? Can we define a hook with multiple parameters? We can have any number of parameters. We can have rest parameters. You can have multiple parameters, right? Generally, in many interviews, we have seen people asking like, can you create a hook for filtering data? Can you create a hook for sorting data? Because sorting, I want everywhere. Can you create a hook for sorting data? That means what that hook have to do? Take the values, sort ascending, sort descending, and display. And in that you can ask in which order you want, ascending order, descending order. Try creating this. I will give a simple task, try. So create a hook for sorting data. That means you provide data to it. It should sort the data and display. Right? So these are very common type. You can see use, sort, use, filter. Then you will be very much surprised that in React, there is nothing like this. In their official website, they don't have all these, but you will find these because these are all created, right? You can try this. These are all comes under hooks concept. Okay. So other hooks, different types of them. I will upload examples. You go through them. And if any doubts are there, let me know so that I can explain them. If you have any doubts in that, okay, all the hooks concept. So now we are completed with two important concepts. So if anyone asks what is difference between life cycle hooks and hooks, both are different. Life cycle hooks are related to class component and React hooks are related to function. Now, can you use the life cycle hooks in function components? Not possible. Can you use these React hooks in class components? Not possible. This is the basic thing you should know about hooks. Okay. So once you know this, working with hooks, routing and all this concept, now we need to understand how we can build the applications, how we can manage the applications. So with TypeScript, we will learn now. With the TypeScript, we will learn. In this, I will explain with the TypeScript how you will use Redux, how you will use React Native. React Native means developing application for mobile. Redux, React Native like concept, I will explain with TypeScript. That means whatever applications that you have designed, you can transform them into TypeScript. Till now, whatever you learned in JavaScript, that is changed into TypeScript. Because several companies are now transforming to TypeScript. As a React developer, you should know both how to work with JavaScript and how to work with TypeScript. Till now, our entire project was with JavaScript. Now we need to know everything by using TypeScript. Why you need TypeScript? This is first important thing. So from today, I will give some basic idea on TypeScript, then you can try, right? I hope you people not having idea on complete TypeScript. You have already TypeScript knowledge. If you have, that's very good. Otherwise, I will just explain few basic things. So differences, and you can start building application using TypeScript. We can see that. Actually, what are the drawbacks of JavaScript? Tell me. What are the issues with JavaScript? What are the issues with JavaScript? As a language, while working with React-like applications, what are the major problems in this JavaScript? First important issue is JavaScript is not strongly typed. This is big problem. This is the major problem actually. JavaScript is not strongly typed. There is no data type restriction. There is no data type restriction. That means you have seen lot of times when you are working with API data, you found problems with properties. That means it says title not available. It says image not available, property not available. That means, for example, you are fetching data, you see state. So here, the point is here, suppose you configured some value. This is defined state. User is a state. Now tell me what type of data I can store in this. I am not initializing. If I initialize, then its type is string. I am not initializing. Then it is not strongly typed. That means you can store any kind of data. That means in one occasion, it can store number. In another occasion, it can store string. That's not good idea. Now you may ask like why we leave like that? Because generally what happens is initially we don't know what type of data will come. Then once the data comes, we should not allow another type of data. Right? Initially we don't know what type of data comes. So we leave empty. Once we know the type, we should not allow another type. We should not allow another type. That's not possible here. You say string, that means what? Always it is string. You say number, always it is number. You say nothing, then it can be number or string or boolean or object, anything. That is not great. So one of the main problem that you will face with JavaScript is it is not strongly typed. JavaScript is not strongly typed. Another important here is JavaScript is not, it is not implicitly strictly typed. It is not implicitly strictly typed. JavaScript is not implicitly strictly typed. It is not implicitly strictly typed means this is a big problem again. If it is not implicitly strictly typed, that means, for example, I defined MSG is equal to username. I am not declaring a variable. I am not declaring a variable. I am directly using some variable. There is no var, there is no let, there is no constant. We are not declaring a variable. So here you see, now it shows an error. Do you know why it is showing error? Because JavaScript is not strictly typed, but In your React project, they turned on strict mode. In React project, manually, they turned on strict mode. If they turn on strict mode manually, then what will happen? It will verify that you are not violating any coding standards. That means it is not internally, it is explicit. It is explicit. For example, you see here, I will go to the file package JSON. You have the file package JSON. In this package JSON, you can see there are so many details mentioned here. There are so many details mentioned here. You can see this is one very, very important. This is ESLint config. Do you know what is ESLint? Later at the end, I will explain how to create a complete project from scratch. This package JSON also you will write. I will tell you that at the end we will do. So, but as of now, you see, do you know what is ESLint config? ESLint configuration is nothing but it is a JavaScript configuration file. It is a JavaScript configuration file which is used to set settings for JavaScript used in any project. In any project, if you are using JavaScript, you can set rules for JavaScript by using which one? ESLint. You can visit the official website. Actually, we have ESLint. This is the official website. It is ESLint is language analysis tool. This is language analysis tool. Actually, it finds and fixes problems in your JavaScript code, and React projects are enabled with it. If you are developing your own project, you can install this ESLint manually. You can install this ESLint manually. That means, suppose I will show here. Let's open any folder. Yeah, I'm opening just a new window. Suppose roughly think that this is my another project. Suppose this is my project. This is some project I am having. This is some project I am having. This is related to some JavaScript project I have. Amazon, some JavaScript project is here. Now what I am doing is open the terminal in this project. In this project terminal, you can run the command npm init initialize. We have to initialize. So ESLint ESLint/config. You can run this command. npm init ESLint config. When you run this command, actually, it is going to generate. It is asking how you would like to use ESLint to check only syntax, or to check syntax and find problems, or to check syntax, find problems, and enforce coding style. Enforce coding style means if anybody is not following coding standards, that also it will show as warnings. Coding standards means what? Suppose he is not using a curly brace for if condition. That means if condition without block they return. If statement on true without block. Generally people have an habit of writing like that. But it is not as per standards. Then it will report an error. So I will select the last one. That means check, find problems, coding styles and all. Now it is asking what type of JavaScript modules you will use. I told you module system na, common JS, JavaScript import export. So these are module systems. JavaScript module means ES module system will be there. I will select JavaScript module. It is asking which framework your project is using. React. So our project is using React. So that we select that React. Do you project use TypeScript also? No, as of now, no TypeScript, right? And you see, so where you will run your code, in a browser or in a terminal, where you will run your code. I will run in a browser or terminal. I will run in a terminal. And it is asking, so use a popular, how would you like to define style for your project? So that means, so what you style you want for the project. So use a style guide means it will help you step by step. As of now, this is not required. And it is asking, I will use the style guide from Google. So that is better. Okay. Yeah. And it is asking which format, JSON format config file I will take. It is asking config file in which format. Usually config files better keep in JSON. Okay, now you see in your project. So here it is saying there is an latest one. Yes, install. So we use npm is package manager. Which package manager you are using? It is asking. And you can see that it is going to set up in your project. Actually, React application is internally having all this. That means when you created a React application, it internally done this. We are now seeing it manually how to set that file I am showing you. You see now, automatically in your computer, there will be, in your project, there will be a file eslint.rc.json. You open this file. When you open this eslint.rc file, when you open the file, the configuration is here. It is showing all the configuration settings. Now here people write rules and references and everything. Generally here we use the rules like we have rules like strict. You need a strict mode to turn on. That means you need to configure strict mode how you want. So strict mode is I want like true or false. You have to keep that. This indicates that now JavaScript runs in which mode? Strict. These are all the general concept when we use JavaScript at any project level. That means we don't simply use JavaScript code. To use JavaScript code, lot of configuration need to be defined. Otherwise, everybody comes from different background of JavaScript. And if they put their own ideas in my project, it will become mess up like. Right? We don't want everybody to implement what JavaScript he knows. Right? We want everybody to follow certain rules and standards. And for that, this is very, very important. The one of the main problem that we face with the JavaScript like concept is the major problem. The point about that is this constant. Yeah. The major one is that it is not internally strictly typed. You need to turn on the strict mode manually. You have to set up the configuration files, then it will work. So a lot of work is there for JavaScript. So JavaScript is not default strictly typed. You can have to turn on strict. I hope you know in general JavaScript how to write strict mode. Use strict. You know this, na? Suppose you are writing JavaScript in a HTML page. You start your JavaScript code with this. In script element, you write by using use strict. Otherwise, instead of that, you can put in a configuration file. This is all problem with JavaScript. Another important point about JavaScript is JavaScript is not an OOP language. It is not an OOP language. It will not support all OOP features. It have limited OOP features. It have classes. So it have properties, methods, constructors. It supports inheritance, but not complete. It supports polymorphism, but not complete. Complete polymorphism is not there. Abstraction is not there. Static members not there. These are all not available. Static, non-static, abstract members, code level security not there. That means public, private, like access modifiers in code not there. These are all drawbacks. It's not a complete OOP language. If it is not a complete OOP language, extensibility issues will come. Extensibility issues will come. So extensibility issues will come. Code security issues will come. Security issues will come. These are all the problems with JavaScript. That is the reason majority of the companies now are preferring to use TypeScript as a language instead of JavaScript for React applications. You will find 50-50%. That means when you go to interviews, 50% of interviews people ask, do you know JavaScript with JavaScript? Some, and 50% they ask, do you know with TypeScript? Because that company may be using TypeScript. So it is compulsory for the modern developers to learn TypeScript and develop application using TypeScript. Why TypeScript? What is the advantages here is actually TypeScript features are nothing but it is strongly typed. It is strongly typed. It is strictly typed. It is strictly typed, and it supports. It is an OOP language. That means it supports all features of OOPs. All features of OOPs. So that means it is good for extensibility. It is good for code level securities. So TypeScript is actually strongly typed, it is strictly typed, it is a complete OOP language. That means it supports all features of OOPs. It supports all features of OOP: polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, static, non-static members, code level security like access modifiers. Everything is supported by TypeScript. That is the reason in the modern generation everywhere TypeScript. That means Angular with the TypeScript. Angular earlier they used to use with JavaScript, but it is gone now. Angular completely only TypeScript, no JavaScript anymore. React have choices now. Some projects are using JavaScript, some projects are using TypeScript, but Angular no choice. Angular completely TypeScript. Some old projects are there in Angular JS. They call Angular JS. Angular JS means it is using JavaScript. It is using JavaScript. That is the reason people are confused and ask here like, sir, is React and React JS both are same? Right? So React is React JS. That means Angular JS are not same, but React and React JS both are same. That means you call React or you call as React JS. That means with React JavaScript with TypeScript, you can use that. But Angular is not like that. Angular JS is different. Angular is different. Angular uses TypeScript. Angular JS uses JavaScript. Here React JS uses JavaScript, TypeScript. React uses JavaScript, TypeScript. So React is same name, React and React JS, but it is not in the case of Angular actually. So now we have to learn how to use this. But one problem is actually, is TypeScript understandable to browser? TypeScript is not understandable to browser. Browser understands only JavaScript. It understands only JavaScript. That means developer uses TypeScript and it which is transcompiled into JavaScript. That means finally it is JavaScript. Finally project will be working on JavaScript only, but developers will not use JavaScript. Developers will not use JavaScript. What developers will do? Developers will use TypeScript. They write logic in TypeScript. They utilize all the features of TypeScript and they internally translate that into JavaScript. Why developers will not directly use JavaScript? Because of lot of issues. Now in some interviews they ask like, can't we manage data type related problems in JavaScript? Actually, in React, we have that facility. In JavaScript, you can install a separate library. In React, you can install a separate library called prop types. Prop types is a library. If you install this library, JavaScript also can handle restriction for types. That means you can declare a property and you can say it is string type. So it cannot allow another type. Actually, directly restrictions are not there. But React have a third-party library called property types. By using the property types library, you can make JavaScript strongly typed. These days, we don't prefer that. What we do, we prefer using TypeScript directly instead of doing that. That means in some interviews, they may ask, because if you tell, I know React with both TypeScript and JavaScript, first question he will ask, what is difference? Then you have to tell the features. In features, you will tell React TypeScript is strongly typed. Then he will say, I am using JavaScript, but I make it strongly typed also by using a prop types library. But that is an external library you have to implement and use. Actually, there is a library for React. What is the library for React? So Node.js, this is npm. Yeah, npmjs.com. In this, you have React prop types. There is a library called React prop types. This is prop types library. What you can do is you can install this prop types library. You can install this prop types library. If you install, what you can do is you can import prop types library. If you import this prop types library, what it will do is when you are declaring any property, you can directly see you are creating an object. When you are creating an object, that object key, and you can put value type. We can put value type. That means any example is here. You can see that. Actually, you can define the property type. So yeah, you can see like this. You are creating an object and the object key and its value. That means actually generally object don't have restriction. That means we created var product. And in the product, what we defined some name. In the name, I entered some number. It will take or not? It will take. Then how it is possible? That's not correct. Now what you can do is when you declare, if you remembered, we used formic. When we used formic, we used initial what? Values. In initial values, we are using initial values object. We defined name. Then what you can do, you can use prop types dot string. This will restrict it to string. That is strongly typed. In old projects of React, you will see like this. That means people, what they do, developers, to make little better with properties, they will install prop types library and they will use that prop types library to restrict the data type to particular. But now if with TypeScript, you don't need to do that. With the TypeScript, we don't need to do that because TypeScript configures data type as strongly typed. That I will show you how they will handle that. But this prop types is very, very regularly asked in interviews for people in experience level, because generally when we say we know TypeScript, they will tell you alternatives that in JavaScript also we can do like this. You can do that, but we can do by using third-party libraries, but this is implicitly available. Now we will see how to set up this TypeScript. Means how to work with TypeScript. We will learn differences between JavaScript and TypeScript. It will take just 1-2 sessions of time for us to know the difference, because already you know JavaScript, just you need to understand how it is written in TypeScript, so that now you can build the complete React application with the TypeScript. All features you can try, all examples in the same way you can try, but some changes you need to know about TypeScript. That we'll see in tomorrow's session, right? In tomorrow's session, I will explain the TypeScript language, all detail about TypeScript language. If you learned here, the same TypeScript you will use in Angular also. Later, if you are learning Angular, same TypeScript knowledge is enough there also, right? So I will give a complete overview on TypeScript. Then we will build React application with the TypeScript. There with the TypeScript, we will see Redux, React Native, how to create mobile applications and all. Okay. Then tomorrow we'll continue, right? Yeah.